Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now we're ready to close out June, and we always close out every month here with the classic Q&A. So, you know the deal, Riddler goes up, you put your questions here, then I read them and hopefully provide helpful answers. So we've got everything from my favorite hotel card, we'll talk about bank account bonuses and their profitability, and we'll finally answer the age-old question, is this my only shirt? The answer might surprise you, so go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, of course, chapters tool down below if you want to jump around, but I will just read the questions from here. So we're batting lead off with Carlin. She says, hey, do you have a favorite hotel card? What is it and why? So I have a Marriott card, the no annual fee Chase Marriott card. I'm just kind of hanging on to it. That's not really my favorite one, though. I give two options. I think Chase Hyatt is one of the best because of its partnership with Chase and how it's so easy to earn ultimate reward points and simply to move them over to Hyatt. I think it's a pretty good card to hang on to, get some level of status or an anniversary night. That tie-in can really help extend the power of a trifecta. The other one I would say is the Hilton Surpass. I think the Hilton Surpass is a really good right down the middle card. So you have the Honors on one side and the Aspire on the other, but the Surpass, is going to get you gold, I believe, and it's going to give you some priority pass access as well, like 10 passes a year, which is a nice sweet spot for people who don't really want to jump up to the 450 plus cards because maybe don't travel that much, or maybe the benefits aren't worth it to you at that level. So those would be my two. Hyatt's probably on the list. I mean, I don't have a ton of Amex points anymore, so I don't know if the Hyatt or the Hilton Nestler makes sense for me immediately, but those would be my two favorite ones to go with. Now we have Mr. K. Roddy checking in. So I'll put the full question up, but to summarize, he's saying, hey, I want to Chase Ink card early next year. He also has a Chase business account. It's been over 180 days, so he can shut it down. But will this affect his relationship with Chase and getting a card? I would say no. I don't think it will. I got both my Ink cards, my Ink Cash and my Ink Unlimited, without having a Chase business account. And it was no problem. I applied online. I did have to go through recon, but it wasn't related to not a banking relationship. And like you, I do have a Chase business or Chase regular account as well. And then I also have like a million Chase personal cards. I really think the checking account deal helps when you're applying in branch, right? Because again, bankers want to just cross sell you a deal. I know you're not new here, so I would say you're fine. Also, that Chase account that you're keeping open, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it takes like $2,000 to avoid fees, which I would hate to have you leave $2,000 over there for the rest of the year just kind of sitting unattended. So I'd say you're fine. Always, if you want to strengthen your chances, you can go in branch and apply, but I don't think closing the business account, now would be a bad thing, and then applying, even if we said it was January, so almost like 6 months from now, I think you should be fine. So yeah, good luck. Keep us posted though for sure. Now, Matt here checking in. A few months ago, Capital One took over as the MLB card issuer. When do we get to see the cards? Well, that's kind of funny because you would think they would have wanted to have them ready to go for the new season, right? I do think Capital One is the sponsor of the All-Star Game or the World Series. So I would hope by the time we get to the World Series, I know there was a date. If there was, I'll put it on screen. I don't remember off the top of my head. Or if not, by the time the World Series, because Capital One is the sponsor. I think that was part of the deal, that they were going to be a sponsor of the World Series. So I would hope by then, because you would think it would make sense to do some really high sign-up bonuses to kick off your first go-around as being a major MLB sponsor, and that's when people get most into baseball, is when they have the cards, right? So, maybe something with playoff team. I like how US Bank did when they had hey, if we win this many gold medals, then the sign-up bonus is this. If we don't, then it's this. That could be interesting, based on your team logo. Do it. Hey, if you pick the team logo that goes to the World Series, your sign-up bonus will be $300. If it doesn't, then it'll be $200. That'd just be something fun to do to promote cards. So there's free advice for Capital One. Again, that's when I would expect them to do it, but I don't know for sure. Now we come to Red Sox Nation with our normal off-topic question of the show. So he says, hey RJ, why do Democrats want to soak the rich if the top 1% made 20.1% of all income? I didn't fact check these numbers. I had to look up what you even meant by why you have to soak them. I don't necessarily know if it's always as malicious as it comes off. I mean, I always get what you're saying. It seems like, yes, it's always taxed, people making over 400 grand. I think we don't really have a lot of other good ideas, honestly. I think we look for the easiest thing. The easiest thing is to say, hey, they have more money than everyone else. Can they just give us more money? Even though sometimes it seems unfair because they arguably use less of the resources they're paying for. So I don't always think it's malicious. I just think it's a lack of creativity, lack of an idea. I truly think the answer is to start monetizing a lot more stuff out there in the country, right? The answer is probably sell the naming rights of things, like we just talked about MLB and Capital One, right? That's what MLB does. They make a ton of money by selling the name of it. It'll be like, the All-Star Game brought to you by Capital One, and there'll be their logos everywhere. Can we sell monetization to these companies like that? Ads, I mean, that's kind of how everyone makes money. That's probably the answer versus just taxing the heck out of everybody. But that's why I think they do it. Just a lack of better ideas. It's the easiest thing we have, so that's what we do. So there's your off-topic question for the day. Now we can get back on track here. So Lunchbox here, that's a cool name. There was a guy who used to play Halo Profession. I think his name was Lunchbox, and he was like pretty sick. Any relation? I don't know. As someone who banks invests using the SoFi platform, do you think the SoFi card would round out my trifecta better than the Freedom Unlimited? Maybe. I think it's, I'm going to assume you're cash back here, right? So if you're cash back, the answer would be Freedom First because of Chase 524. I'm going to assume you have the Freedom Flex, so you don't need the 3x gas stations or 3x drugstores and dining. You already have that, but they do have a really good sign-up bonus going on for 5x back at gas for the first $6,000 in spend right now. So I would still say it's a Freedom Unlimited first, and then, maybe it's SoFi as your catch-all card, right? Because if you're playing cash back, then instead of using the 1.5x on the Freedom Unlimited, you would use, the 2% on SoFi, but you would still have, take advantage of your top multipliers elsewhere. And then you could cash it out and just transfer that cash directly to your SoFi account. That's probably the way to do it. So I think SoFi card could potentially round out as a better catch-all. I would still not skip the Freedom Unlimited first because of the current 5x bonus on gas and because of 524 personally. So as like most things, the answer is both. It just depends on the order of operations, in my opinion. But I think that's a fine way to take it. Next up, Nadia, there's no way. We have 2 women writing into the show in one episode. That's not even possible. Like, I didn't even know this show even ranked with women. So thank you very much. What do you think about Venture X versus any Chase credit card? Love your content. Well, I appreciate you very much. I think the Venture X is probably on a 1-to-1. It's probably the better of the cards. If you wanted to compare it to the Sapphire Reserve as the best comp, it's better. The Sapphire Reserve relies too heavily on the trifecta. Yes, there are a lot of multipliers, but those multipliers force you to go through the portal, which, I don't know a lot of people doing Chase dining and things like that, especially when you look at Chase's, the Sapphire Reserve, and it gets 3x on dining, but like we just talked about, Freedom Flex gets 3x on dining as well for no annual fee, right? The Chase's problem that they're running into, in my opinion, is they're almost too reliant on the trifecta, right? Sapphire Reserve by itself, it's never felt right to me at $550. I know it was 3 years ago now. Maybe I just need to get over the fact that it was $450. But when you take Venture X at $395, I mean, and considering what Capital One keeps doing to it, little increments here and there every month without raising the fee, I think it's the best one-on-one card. Now, I wouldn't say the Sapphire Preferred is bad. I think the Sapphire Preferred is just a different card. Sapphire Preferred to me is still the best entry-level travel card, or the best travel card to get for folks who just want to travel a few times a year who don't need the lounge access. $95, $45 easily after that hotel credit. But yeah, I think just one-on-one Venture X without a doubt. And if I was Chase, I'd be a little concerned because I do believe there'll be a Sapphire Reserve refresh again at some point. They're just going to have to decide. Do they try to punch up their weight and go after Amex, or do they decide to defend against the attack that is Capital One? They kind of have to make a choice because I don't think they're set up in a position where they can fight them both off, right? That's kind of where I'm at with that. So for right now, I think Venture X would be the one to go. All right, RJ, I love your videos. Have watched lots of them. I appreciate that. You guys are too kind today. Don't you have any other polos besides the black one you always wear? You know what? I'm going to put up some B-roll of my closet, okay? And just a quick explanation here. So I, spend a lot of time in banking, in mortgage banking. We don't really have to dress up, but I have all the suits. I have all the bespoke suits. I have a suit guy. They measure you up, send your stuff off to Italy. They send it back. You've got your custom suits, custom shirts with your initials on it. Not trying to flex. It's just in banking, you always have to have that stuff, right? So you can see the closet. I started doing the black shirt because I didn't want to iron a shirt just to make a video, right? Because you wear a dress shirt, you got to iron it. So I had these. I kind of feel like you're talking about finance. You usually have a collar on your shirt, but YouTube is kind of super casual, so it didn't necessarily make sense to be that dressed up. But I had this. I liked it. It fits great. It's Ministry of Supply. I have 3 of these. I also have a long sleeve button up version of these that I'll wear if it's a casual day at work or something. So yeah, I have more. I have a full closet full of stuff. It's just really not needed with the over casualization of America and things like that. If you wear a suit or coat, like you're looking too uptight. Now, why do I only have 1 color? Because matte black everything is the answer to life. Just, I don't know, it's my favorite color. I like it. It goes with everything. It makes things super simple too, because you only need 1 color socks. You only need 1 color belt, or only color bag, right? That's kind of why. If I went with other colors, you got to match it and everything. Black is very simple, so that is the answer to that. Yes, there's a lot more stuff in the wardrobe, but I like this. I'm getting to the Zuckerberg thing where I really just like to wear the same shirt every day. So there you go. Mystery solved. Wandering Doc checking in says, hey, have you found credit card sign-up bonuses or bank account bonuses more valuable or profitable? Well, it's great when I don't have to do the shameless promotion myself, so thank you, Wandering Doc. We're becoming good buds on my other channel, Run on the Bank, which is dedicated to bank account bonuses, which partner very well with credit card sign-up bonuses. So I'll link that down below if you want. I think there's a few really easy bonuses to get you started, and you can make a lot of money. So to answer your question, Doc, I find bank account bonuses much more profitable. I think I made $11,500 last year doing them. Now, I play very, very aggressive. We're talking about 70 accounts opened last year alone. It's not really feasible to open 70 credit cards, right? And even though there's high sign-up bonuses, the credit cards require spend to hit it. Bank accounts don't require spend, and if they do, it's like debit card transactions that can like easily be spoofed, if you will, by doing like $1 Amazon reloads. Now, I'm also, learning that I'm getting into the referral game, making videos where I can refer folks and then I get something and you get something, which is the best kind of referral. So if I partner with that, then, I think my goal is always 10 grand a year with bonuses from banks in any form. But I think bank account bonuses, they're just easier to do. You can churn them much quicker. So I think they're much more profitable than credit cards, because by the nature, credit cards require spend. And I'm not someone with a large amount of spend. I know we have people in the audience here who do drop shipping or flip electronics or things like that require high amounts of spend to build up their inventory. So those people might have a different answer and a different experience, but for me, bank accounts definitely the more profitable one, and if you can combine them all together and make your goal getting $10,000 extra a year from banks, I think you're onto something. But the answer is do both of them. So there you go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Clifford here. Is it better to maintain a banking relationship with banks that issue your most used cards, or to find banks credit unions with the highest savings rates? Probably both. Well, no, I take that back. I don't think you really need to maintain much of a banking relationship with the big guys, right? So like you described, I have Chase. I still have my Chase college checking account, right? It still says college checking. They used to try to sell me on upgrading it, but I just ignored them and they just let me keep it. I'm 31 now, and I finished school in like 2014, so that tells you how old it is. But I keep a Chase account open not for the relationship, but because, as you guys know, I have tons of Chase cards, and I do occasionally have to write checks for, real estate, home things. You get a plumber who comes over, they don't really want to deal with your credit card, so they charge you 4 or 5% processing fee. So sometimes I do need to hit an ATM to get cash. Sometimes I do need to write a check, so I have checks from them. Yes, you can get those from other places, but it just makes it easier because there's a Chase bank everywhere. So I maintain that relationship because it's convenient for me. I don't think Chase cares one way or the other. Now, there are some smaller banks that do care, but I don't think it's huge, right? At the end of the day, it's still we're still customers, still transactions, still business. Now, to your other point, I also have an Ally account because at the time that had the high savings rate, so I have a savings account over there. I don't have a Chase savings account. And then we talked about early, on another show, I think, where I still have my Amex business account because it had a high savings rate. So I tend to say, hey, look for the products that work best for you. Credit unions are the exception, who they're kind of based on relationship banking, but they're not always the most competitive things out there. So just go with what's most competitive, most convenient, or most competitive for you. And I would say never marry a financial institution because they will not do that to us. So that's how I do it. But again, I understand people who just want to be in one location, and there's definitely nothing wrong with that. So here we go. Moving on, Mr. Jeremy Moore, good friend of the show, says, I'm always have questions about everything. Now that the world seems to be getting back to normalcy, do you have any traveling in your near future later? Where will you go? I don't have anything planned. I know my brother lives out in LA. My parents were talking about going out to see him potentially. Will I go with them? I don't know, maybe. I always thought we'd end up at Boston at some point again, just to see the new Chase Sapphire Lounge. Those aren't exactly fun places. At one point, I was trying to go to every single state. I think I've made it about halfway, but now I just have the weird stuff left. They're I don't know what's going on in Iowa, so maybe someone can make a recommendation on that. So nothing in the plans right now. So I'm really kind of cash back card setup, but if you guys want to make some recommendations, let me know where I should go to next. When we get big enough, maybe we just have some kind of meetup or something. I don't know how big you have to be to do one of those. All right, Chad's Money Minutes here. This is not a question. I just want to take the opportunity to thank you for the content and let you know that your videos are one of them that inspired me to get into the credit cards and points miles when I found them after getting my Delta Platinum Amex. I have that card. It's a good card. Keep up top tier content. Well, hey, man, I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much. And, of course, if I can be of help or you want to see any specific videos down below, just let me know. I do take requests. Sometimes it takes me a while to get to them, but I definitely take requests, so thank you very much. Kind words. Paul Jeffries here. I've seen you here before, sir. So what are your thoughts on if you should pivot your credit card strategy if a recession is on the horizon? Do you normally see lower subs during recessions, making you want to consider applying for more cards now, get it while it's good kind of thing? Well, I think we've seen some numbers come out from the Federal Reserve that says credit card balances are getting high again, back to record highs, pre-pandemic level. So that's probably an indicator that maybe card companies aren't going to necessarily need to be as aggressive with bonuses as they were over that year and a half run. But again, we've also seen some gold cards and stuff like that go up to 100K very recently, only for a short amount of time. So, it's really hard to predict. I think, strategy as a whole, I just try not to spend, maybe cut back spending, which is funny because that's kind of how you start a recession. It's part of it. But I think card companies will pull back because, again, there was that initial push. Everyone paid down debt because they weren't going anywhere, and then they needed to get people back to spending again. So, to your thought, I wouldn't. If you see a sign-up bonus you like the Citi Premier that's at 80K right now, I would probably jump on that one, for example. So, if you see a high number, there's a number you're looking for, I think I would pull the trigger on some stuff. We're still seeing good stuff, but getting through the summer, I'll be interested to see if credit card companies try to keep pushing again, or do they say, hey, we're good and we've got people spending again. But wouldn't change it too much per se. NS here. Do you anticipate Citi bringing back the Prestige? Really seems like they had a hole in their lineup ever since its discontinuation. What would you like to see in it? If so, I think they will. I think they almost have to. The funny part is, what do you want to see in it? I just want to see the old Citi Prestige again from 2018 to 2019. That was such a good card. The problem is, I think it was too good, and Citi didn't necessarily understand how to take advantage of it, and they got crushed by the road warriors who would always use the unlimited fourth night free or always use the travel insurances. So assuming it's not going to be that good anymore, I don't know if Citi's even built for travel. Really, I don't really associate Citi with travel. They have the Citi Premier that's branded as travel, but it doesn't really feel like a travel card despite even having travel multipliers on it. So, I would say, commit, man. If Wells Fargo can talk about bringing back the autograph card, which is basically a rebranded Propel, then Citi can step up as the third largest bank and bring back the prestige that we know and love. That's the answer. I think they'll end up hiking the fee because it's a new world and $550 is the minute. It used to be $4.95. But I think that's what they do. But they've got to, I don't know what else they would add to it, because you've got to be careful about the Capital One Venture X that we talked about earlier in the show, right? So I think you probably either try to slot in with a ton of value in between the Venture X and the Sapphire Reserve, because I don't really think you're going to challenge the Platinum, which is a different thing. But if you slotted it in at a $495, so $100 more than the Venture X with the old Prestige was, I think you have a winner, especially now that all the Citi cards earn thank you points and you can have multiple custom caches. I think you have a winner, honestly. I don't think they need to do much. They've done it already. Just bring it back. All right, last one here after a good Citi rant. Here, Spencer Johnson. He's coming, good friend of the show. He's up and coming YouTube on himself. Go check him out. He's got something really good up about, the new Delta Reserve card. Answers a lot of questions that I know people had about should I get it, even, just because it's limited edition or not. So I'll link to that down below, but he's definitely worth a look. So anyways, what do we say? What credit cards do you have on your eye on for the rest of the year? How do you decide what cards you apply for? At this point, your credit card journey, are you still adding cards because of their utility, mainly because sign-up bonuses? So I got denied for the Citi Premier. Maybe that's because I just went on a Citi rant. I got denied for the Citi Premier, probably because I got the Citi Custom Cash maybe like a month ago. But I'm still looking for a 100K Sapphire Preferred bonus, hopefully to get that card going again. And then after that, I would say it's probably maybe the Ink Preferred. The Business Leverage card from U.S. Bank's always been on the list because it's a really good sign-up bonus, and they waive the fee in year number 1, which kind of goes to your second part of the question is I look for both. So like the Citi Custom Cash, it's a $200 sign-up bonus. I don't really care about that. I just wanted the utility of having a 5X card, built like that. Same with the Premier, Citi Premier. I didn't necessarily want the Premier long-term. I wanted to get it to turn into another Custom Cash in a year's time, maybe. I think that's how that works. But there are massive bonuses, or like, the 750 from the leverage card that I want because it's a large sign-up bonus. So that's kind of how I look at it. Can I build out my setup? Can I strengthen my setup to get more 5X back, which I'm now contend that 5X is the table minimum? Or can I hit a larger sign-up bonus, especially if I know I have a big purchase? I'm probably not going to sign up something like the Wells Fargo Active Cash just for the $200. I don't think it's really worth it to me at this point in the game. And the last one I'll say is I've also thought about, I've had my Freedom Unlimited for quite some time, since like 2016, so I could product change my Freedom Unlimited to another OG Freedom, because why not have 4 Freedoms, get back in line, get another Freedom Unlimited for the sign-up bonuses that they have, which is like $200 and like 5X on gas for the first year, up to $6,000 in spend. That might actually be my next move to do that. So I don't know, you guys let me know what you think or what should be on the radar. But anyways, guys, that has been it for the Q&A. I think I hit everyone's questions. So of course, if you need follow-ups or more additional detail, feel free to drop it down below. Again, I appreciate everyone who wrote in, all the nice things you guys said. Do appreciate it. Of course, I'll link down to the bank account channel if you want to make some extra money while you're at it. I asked you all some questions already, so we'll just say, hey, if you like this one, of course, drop me a thumbs up down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.